Robs, Newton and Keogh launched a Northamptonshire fight back on the third day of the LV County Championship match at the Swalek Stadium in Cardiff after the visitors were forced to follow on 214 runs behind by Glamorgan, but they still have much to do to save this match. That follow-on came about because of a collapse on the rain-affected second day, which saw Northamptonshire slip to 33 for 5 in reply to their host 371. Adam Rossington and Josh Cobb had started a recovery before the rains on Monday by adding 46 for the 6th wicket, and after play finally got underway after lunch on day 3, Rossington looked to continue that recovery with some attacking shots first thing. He'd begun the day on 24, and after 10 overs of the afternoon, he'd raced to a 50 off 61 balls, with these being just a few of the 10 boundaries he'd struck in that. But he was then run out in the most unfortunate of ways, the bowler Rory Smith getting a touch and a drive from Cobb to find Rossington short of his ground at the non-striker's end. That ended a stand of 91, while only 4 more runs had been added by the time Ben Duckett nicked off to Craig Macheda in the next over. Northamptonshire now on 128 for 7. They needed to get to 222 to avoid being asked to follow on, but were on 136 for 8 when David Willey, in such good form with the bat this year, lobbed up a catch to short leg off the second ball of Andrew Salter's spell. Cobb continued to battle, reaching a 50 off 90 deliveries, the ball after he'd struck his 7th 4. But he was then legged before to a delivery from Salter which stayed low, Cobb on his way for 54 at 157 for 9. And just a couple of balls later, Northants were all out on the same score as Maurice Chambers, surrounded by close catchers, was bowled by Salter, who had figures of 3 for 5 from 4 overs, the best of his career. So the visitors were back in, trailing by 214 runs, and they lost Stephen Peters to the very first ball of their second innings when he edged a sharp delivery from Graham Wagg behind. It was 15 for 2 as Carl Kurtzer dragged the delivery from Wagg back onto his stumps, and Northamptonshire were in huge trouble, an innings defeat to Glamorgan looking the most likely outcome now. There was still a long evening session to come, and if Glamorgan could cause yet more damage with the new ball, then a 3-day finish was even a possibility, in spite of so much time being lost to the weather on day 2. Newton and Keogh had other ideas. They began their partnership carefully, but as they got their eyes in, batting became a lot easier, and they were able to start to enjoy themselves at the crease. The boundaries began to come too, and a partnership of note was soon in development by these two talented batsmen. Keogh in particular has been in exceptional form this summer, and he attacked whenever he could, pushing the score along quickly once in. If Northamptonshire had been able to bat like this first time around, and had not lost 5 wickets for 5 runs at the start of their innings, then they would not have been in this mess. Newton made a 50 off 92 balls, and he celebrated by taking 3 more boundaries off successive deliveries from Smith in the next over, as he and Keogh added 107 runs for the 3rd wicket. But then Keogh made a mistake, taking on a single to mid-on that was just too risky and being run out by Hogan's direct hit. Keogh would have left a very disappointed man. Especially when Cobb soon followed out for the second time in the day as he scooped a shot of Colin Ingram in his first spell in county cricket to Macheda after adding just a single to his earlier half-century. That left Northants on 122 for 4, still 92 runs behind, and there were 9 overs left in the day for Glamorgan to cause yet more trouble. But in spite of the increasing pressure, Rossington ended the day just as he'd started it, with a host of boundaries off the meat of his bat. This was the pick of his shots. There were no thoughts of playing for the close, as Salter was dispatched down the ground for a 6. Rossington ended the day on 25, with Newton needing just 11 more runs for the 7th 100 of his first-class career. He may need many more than that, though, to save this game. His side entering the final day on 163 for 4 and trailing by 51 runs.